Today we're going to talk about cancer-causing relaxers and why you should never use it. And if you do, this is how you should. I don't know.
I am back! What it do, baby?
Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use, for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing.
We finna put a perm in. As you can see, it's time to wash our hair. So, the perm, actually we do this backwards. That's the type of perm. We have a comb, because we finna comb it on out. I have this type of oil. This is the stuff. I mix A and B together. This came with it, the conditioner and the shampoo. But in the meantime, once I'm done washing it out, I'm gonna rewash it with this. So we're gonna try this. But now, also we got the gloves. Okay? So we'll get this out of the way. Hair tutorial for a second. I got a perm in, I think I was 13th or 14 years old when I first got a perm. And that time my hair was here. Now my hair is not. Shortage. Some of it came out. We ain't gonna get all of that. And my hair likes to suck up grease a lot. And two, I wear a lot of scarf on my head. So now, I put this one, oh, my other one. This as well. So, let's comb it out, and then we'll put the perm in.
Now, this is where we have the problem every time, because when you see a professional, regardless of their race, use a chemical, you think that whatever you see at face value is what's actually going on, and that's really not the truth. The truth of the matter is there is a certain procedure that you're taught to follow, that you get tested on in state board, to ensure that you don't get the different things that Black women have been suing different relaxer companies for. Now, as you just seen in this video, as you're looking at right now, the relaxer just goes right on. The hair isn't sectioned off. There is no base put on the scalp. None of the procedures that you get tested on in state board to ensure that the different ingredients that are in the relaxer don't pierce the stratum corneum. Those procedures are never followed when you guys do relaxers at home. Even the petroleum that you use at home, even the different products that you guys, some people just take oil and put it right on the scalp. Even those things aren't enough. They're not. And if we sit here and talk about the relaxer that you get at the beauty supply store, or the relaxer that you get going to a professional cosmetologist, are very different. They're not the same thing. And if it were the same thing, the government wouldn't get away with charging cosmetologists so much money just to learn how to properly use chemicals on the hair. Because I think the thing that most women fail to realize is when you go to cosmetology school, you are not going to cosmetology school to learn how to do hairstyles. I didn't go to cosmetology school to learn how to do a real cute bob and all of that. No, you go to cosmetology school to learn how to properly add relaxer to the hair without damaging the scalp and causing different internal issues. You go to cosmetology school to learn how to properly remove pigment from the hair so all of your hair isn't falling out. You learn how to do these things properly so your client, if she decides to be a relaxer, a woman who wears a relaxer permanently, you go to cosmetology school so that way your clients can have relaxers permanently if that's what they want to do without having any type of scalp or follicle infection or anything that turns into fibroids and things of that nature. So even when you guys go back and look at books, right? When you go back and look at everything that's been going on as it pertains to women suing these relaxer companies, go look at the docket. Every last relaxer that they're suing for is a at-home box relaxer. Mazzani and the firm are not on the chopping block. It's all of the relaxers you guys get from Walmart because nobody understands that there is a very, very big difference between a professional cosmetologist giving you a relaxer and the relaxer that you give yourself at home. I've not always been a licensed cosmetologist. I haven't always been a cosmetologist. So before I went to school, I put relaxers on the same exact way she's doing it. I used to do it like that too. Why? Because I didn't understand the proper ways to do it. And if you haven't been to school to learn the proper way, neither do you. And there is nothing wrong with me saying that you don't know things that you have not taken the time or spent the money to know. Just like there was nothing wrong with me not knowing anything about how to properly relax hair, about how to properly give somebody three-dimensional hair color. I didn't know what the hell I was doing until I finished school. And guess what? Even once I finished cosmetology school, I wasn't on Guy's hang level. Girl, I could never. At the time, I had to take classes because I didn't know what I didn't know. But the problem with Black women is you refuse to admit that you don't know. For whatever reason, me saying that you don't know the thing that you haven't taken the time or spent the money to know, for whatever reason, that is offensive. And that is the problem. Because that doesn't make sense. Why are you offended that I'm telling you that you're doing something wrong and you've never taken the time to learn the right way? It makes no sense. Because when we're adding relaxers to our hair at home, we do not have the proper routines and patterns. For example, even in this video, after she shampoos her hair, she's only gonna like let the shampoo sit for a little bit, and then she's gonna use a whole nother shampoo, Cantu, that had nothing to do with relaxers. There is a whole process. There's a whole treatment regimen that you have to follow after a relaxer. But the women who have sued and gotten $20 or $15 in their lawsuit settlements, these are the same women who have not taken the time to know what they don't know. You cannot get offended by me saying that because at one time I didn't know and I took the time and spent the money to know what I didn't know. Okay? So as we all look in the mirror, as we all constantly try to figure out why Black women's hair won't grow, the majority of you do exactly what this beauty did here in this video. All of you. This isn't just her. This isn't to embarrass her. My channel is a mirror. Look in the mirror, see yourself, and adjust. Make changes. Because as a people, we have to stop walking around playing the victim. We do this to our hair. The exact thing that you're watching this woman do, the majority of you do. So we cannot live in a place where we're constantly pointing the fingers, right? It doesn't work. So if you've ever reached for the strongest box relaxer in the beauty supply store because you just wanted to work, this is one of the main reasons why you're going through what you're going through, and this video is for you. While at-home relaxers might seem like a quick fix, the long-term damage they can cause is not worth it, especially when your hair deserves serious custom care. Relaxers should always be customized. So let's break this down. The real difference between professional relaxers and box relaxer kits, and why choosing a relaxer based on your porosity, not just its strength, is a game changer, and it's what your hair has been waiting for. Because I even remember as a little girl going to get a relaxer from the store. Women don't base relaxers on their porosity because most of y'all don't even are just learning what the term porosity means. It's not to be offensive, it's to have a real conversation. Most of you didn't know what porosity was or how it even relates to relaxers. So why would you be picking your relaxers based on something that you don't even really fully comprehend? So let's break them down, because most of the time when you go in to get a relaxer, you're getting a relaxer based on how curly your hair is. You think that the kinkier your hair is, the higher the relaxer is. Oh, my hair is super kinky, so I have to get a super relaxer. No, that's not how that works. And we're going to break that down in a second, right? But what is the difference between a box relaxer versus a professional relaxer? Now, a box relaxer is over the counter hair care, right? Box relaxers are designed to be universal, meaning that they're made for the average customer, someone with no training who may not understand how relaxers chemically affect the hair. And here's what you're really getting. You're getting a one size fits all formula, usually regular or super. Stronger chemical content to ensure the results across multiple hair types, right? Because this has to work for everybody. And then you have generic timing instructions that are not customized to your hair, because sometimes for some bottles it's like leave it off for 30 minutes, but depending on your hair type, you could be somebody who needs that relaxer on 5 minutes tops, but you're reading the bottle and leaving it on for 30 minutes and then going to school blaming relaxers for breaking off your hair, where in reality you use a one size fits all thing. And think about how crazy it is, because every time I make a video saying not to do something, it's like everybody's different, but everybody goes and buys the same chemical at the store. That goes for hair color and relaxers. Now, this client, as she came in, her hair was, right now I'm combing it out, and then after I comb her hair out, I'm gonna part it in four sections, get it parted in four sections. But as I was parting her hair in four sections, her scalp was based in the way that a professional cosmetologist is taught how to do it. So that's the difference. And I also want you to notice that I'm not just using my hands and just slapping the relaxer on everywhere. No, I'm putting it in a very specific place because I've already assessed her scalp and her hair shaft, and I can see where the line of demarcation is, because this is a retouch relaxer, right? And even though I'm calling it a retouch relaxer, even though she kind of thought it was like more so on the virgin side, it was a retouch relaxer, okay? But again, when this goes back to me talking about things being one size fits all, if you just randomly go into the beauty supply store or go to Walmart or CVS or Walgreens to get a relaxer, then there's no analysis of your hair's condition, your porosity, or your scalp sensitivity. So what's the problem with this? That super relaxer might be way too strong for your hair type, but you don't know, because you don't know what your hair type is, because you think that it's super easy to do what professionals do. If your hair is low porosity, it doesn't absorb moisture or chemicals quickly, so using a high strength formula can sit on the hair too long, causing burns, thinning, or breakage. High porosity may process too fast, leading to over processing and weak ends. So, what do professionals say about this? Professional relaxers within salon applications are different because when you go in for your chemical consultation, your professional is going to assess your scalp and figure out what type of relaxer you need, how long it should lay on, if it should be on and off or off the scalp, finding out what you're allergic to, if you need a lye or no lye relaxer, depending on your scalp profile. But girl, if you just go in to get a relaxer out of CVS and none of those things are happening. So, what are the different things that your cosmetologist is going to do? Your relaxer is going to be based on your hair's porosity, low, medium, or high. Now, there are a lot of cosmetologists that forgot the things that they learned in cosmetology school, or maybe they didn't even pay attention and they don't bring it up because they don't remember. But you not remembering something does not make it non-valid. Let's just be very clear on that. After selecting the relaxer based on your client's porosity, then you would look at their texture and density, right? Then, after that, you would check the scalp health and sensitivity. And lastly, you want to know their previous chemical history. And I'm sorry, not before. Now, knowing all of this information, now you're able to choose the right relaxer for your clients. And choosing a relaxer based on your porosity is key. And again, if you don't agree, then I need you to let me know in the comments why. Right? Because stop just randomly commenting. I disagree with you. Misinformation. Okay. If I'm spreading misinformation, tell me the exact part that I'm looking up and then give me the latter. And none of you have been able to do that. Actually, the opposite happens. When I respond with that, you delete your comment. I don't want you to delete your comment. If I'm wrong about what I'm saying, go ahead and give me the latter and don't just name something like right out of your butt. I'm about to break things down. And if you're not going to break it down the way that I am, then I don't want to hear it. All right. Okay. Fine. So choosing a relaxer based on porosity is important. High porosity hair, the cuticles are raised and already lifted. And the main objective is to raise the cuticle to remove some of those sulfur to sulfur linkages because that's what makes your hair curly, right? So if the cuticle is already open, you don't need anything super duper strong to open the cuticle. So that's when you would use like a mild relaxer. But then if you have medium porosity hair, right? If you have medium porosity hair, your cuticles are slightly raised, right? It's normal, right? So you would just use a regular relaxer. Just use a regular relaxer. But then if you have a hair shaft that has a cuticle that are tightly shut. If you have a low porosity hair, I can't talk today. If you have a low porosity hair, the cuticles are closed and compact. So you want a strong relaxer, right? So this is when you're getting like the super relaxer because you want to ensure that your client's cuticle is able to open with that really tight cuticle. But again, you still have to know the scalp's profile, the health of the scalp, and all of those things because that's going to determine how long this relaxer sits on the hair based on your client's profile and all of these other things. A professional stylist will analyze your hair before selecting the right relaxer, protecting your strands with conditioners, oils, or treatments before and after the application. And that's another thing. Most people don't want to take accountability. Most people don't want to pay attention for the things that they've caused within the body, right? And this time is to ensure you do not over process the hair, but the majority of you over process the hair doing these types of treatments, right? So the porosity equals how good or bad your hair will absorb different chemicals. So for you again to just walk into CVS and just randomly pick up a relaxer and you don't know anything about your hair, anything about your scalp's profile, should these companies be sued or should you be suing yourself for not doing the proper research before you grab chemicals that people have to go to school and get tested by state board to use? These are the things that don't make sense. And so when we're talking about DHT and all of the things, most people always want to use different things as isolated situations, but and the reality of it is, when it comes to the black hair community, there are so many things that y'all do that are wrong, all at one time, compacted on top of each other, and it all ends with not shampooing your hair for months at a time. So that leads to so many different scalp disorders. It leads to you triggering your body to produce too much or not enough sebum. It gives you so many different scalp infections. And when people try to tell you not to do it, you say, "Oh, well, my grandma's been oiling her scalp for all of these years." Well, I have a question for you. If something works, right? If putting oil on your hair made your hair hydrated, then once you put that oil on your hair that one time, you would never have to do it again because your hair would have everything that it needed. But the women who constantly oil and grease their scalp, who constantly put oil on their hair, if you stop putting oil on your hair is going to be dry and brittle. What does that mean? That means that nothing's changed about your hair. It's a sealant. You've put a sealant on your hair. That is it, and that is all. And that's the main problem. As you guys come out of Team Natural, as you come out of all of these habits that you should have never been following in the first place, you guys are no longer layering products on your hair. But guess what? By you no longer layering all of these products on your hair, by you no longer using all of these sealants now, you shampoo your hair, use conditioner, and then what you feel, you're like, my hair feels dry. No, that's how your hair really feels. That's how it really feels in real life. Hair is not supposed to be slippery, like you can slide down the street on it. No, it's not supposed to feel like that. You don't have to wear weaves and stuff like that. You don't have to do that, but go into a store that sells version bundles, not the beauty supply store. Go into a store that sells virgin hair and run your fingers across it. Is it going to feel slippery and oily and greasy? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But somebody's going to buy that hair and use it for 7, 8, 9 years. And the person who grew it out put no oil, no grease, and no butter on it. They put none of it on it. Those are things that you need to think about. The definition of insanity is to do the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over again, expecting a different result. Nothing different is going to happen. And when we're talking about relaxers, relaxers did not cause cancer. Relaxers did not make black women bald. You want to know what made black women bald? Black women doing the same thing then that they do now. Wanting to argue and debate about things that you don't know and things that you haven't taken the time to learn. That's the problem. Because when you go and you actually look at the court dockets for the women who were suing for relaxers, they all use boxed relaxers at home. Do it yourself. User error. That's what it is. We have so many videos here on YouTube where there are women mixing oils and things of that nature inside of the relaxer. Oh, do this. We even have videos here on YouTube where you search it for yourself. I'm not putting them on the screen. There are even videos here on YouTube where instead of using the neutralizing shampoo that comes in the box relaxer, you decide you're going to use apple cider vinegar because you read that apple cider vinegar can neutralize things too. And then years down the line, when the thing that you caused that day show up, because the hair weathering that you caused that one time that you tried a hack on YouTube, that one time, that offsets something that's going to show up 20 years from now. That's why all of the women who watch my videos, oh, she lying, she lying. Girl, I don't care. You know why? Because YouTube is forever. And I get off on the fact that years from now, you're going to keep doing that shit. And then all your hair is going to fall out. And then you're going to be like, oh my God, what's that girl name? She told me. That's why I just said, remember you were warned. Remember you were warned. Just remember somebody tried to tell you that all the oils and butters and greases that you put on your scalp limit the God-given oil/wax that your body naturally produces. It's on your face every morning when you wake up. But it's not on your scalp because you have a constant sealant there. So all of these things are wrapped into one when we're talking about do-it-yourself relaxers. There's nothing on the box of any relaxers that is going to help you choose the right relaxer. It's just not. And the thing is, it costs you more money to do your relaxer at home than it will going to a professional. Let me tell you how. I can prove it to you. Because when you do your own relaxer at home, you buy the relaxer, the chemicals, and all of the things, right? But down the line, when that hair weathering pops up, you're going to have to go pay a cosmetologist to fix it. So you pay to do your own relaxer, plus all of the money you spend to do the retouches is about to mess up your hair. And then you're going to have to go pay her to fix it and probably pay her to do a relaxer too. When you could have just went and found a good cosmetologist to do your relaxers. And I know that a lot of people say, oh, good cosmetologists don't exist. That's not true. You're not looking the right way. Because the gurus in the 7-day challenge and in the growth cycle blueprint, the ones that have really, really been serious about it, they found excellent cosmetologists. It's nothing, especially if you still want to do your own hair, you can do that. But in the meantime, you can also go and find you a professional cosmetologist that can just give you a relaxer, and then you go ahead on about your business and you just go back to her or him whenever you want to get your retouches. Or just don't do a relaxer. But it is not cool that we're constantly blaming relaxers. We're constantly blaming these companies like Mayo Organics for all of the things that we do to our hair over the years. When you come across my video, a lot of people come across my videos through watching videos of people who don't like me, or people who have a problem with me. Girl, don't nobody care. You don't know me. I don't know you. How you don't like somebody you don't know? Girl. The reality of the situation is everybody just wants to hit it and quit it. Everybody wants a quick fix, where when we're talking about chemicals with your hair, just as quick as you hacked it and did that quick fix, your hair gonna quick fix hack itself off and you're gonna be bald head. And then when all of your hair falls out, guess what happens? You have to go back to a dermatologist that's gonna tell you the same thing that I'm telling you right now. Make it make sense. Everybody who constantly greases and oils the scalp and then gets alopecia or whatever scalp inflammation or scalp infection, scalp disorder they end up getting, when they go to the dermatologist, if they go to a good dermatologist that isn't selling oils, if they go to a good dermatologist, the dermatologist is going to tell you word for word what I've been saying, which is keep oils, greases, and butters off the scalp, shampoo your hair on a regular basis, and don't leave your hair wet because it increases the amount of bacteria that's there. They're not hairstylists, so they're not going to tell you exactly how to style your hair. That's what your cosmetologist is for. But the truth of the matter is, everybody is leading themselves into these situations because you think that somebody's knowledge is in comparison to the amount of followers or the amount of views that they get on the video. And at the end of the day, that is what's resulting in so many black women being bald head. That's what's resulting in so many of y'all going bald in the middle of y'all head. And I'm not being rude, but let's be real. Like, if y'all sit here and think about all of the YouTubers that y'all used to follow that have been telling y'all oil the scalp, grease the scalp, wash and go, all of the things, they all have the same bald spot in the middle of their head. Literally, most of them all have CCCA. Almost every last one. But then your hair starts thinning out in the same way, but you are not looking at the patterns that you've been following, which are theirs. So I know it may be a hard pill to swallow for a lot of people, but at the end of the day, the reason that so many black women have so many scalp disorders and even things like cancer is because you've done it wrong. And let's be very clear, there are some dusty cosmetologists that use box relaxers in the salon. There are dust buckets, but that's up to you. You have to pick the right cosmetologist. Just like for whatever man you messing with, girl, you gotta make sure he bought something. That's on you. If you have a cosmetologist that uses box relaxers before anybody touches your hair with a chemical, scissors, or anything, to be honest, you need to book a consultation. Ask, what type of relaxers do you use? Oh, can I see what? And you can say it cute. Don't come in there trying to interrogate nobody. Girl, they not gonna like you, even if they're a good person. But say, hey, can I see the type of relaxer that you use? Because I have a lot of sensitivity. Or if you can't show me, I understand. But could you tell me what type of relaxer you use? And then if they use a professional based relaxer, they're gonna answer you with details. But if they use box relaxers like you, they're gonna be like, oh girl, just for me, it's good. Or I use African Pride because it got a black girl from Africa on it. These are the things that I need you to think about. There are so many different layers to the reason that y'all have the issues that y'all have. Even when we talk about castor oil and overusing castor oil, y'all believe that castor oil is just the best thing since sliced bread. And baby, I could tell you it's not. And the same women who swear by castor oil are also the same women who are thinning. Those are the same women who are having a whole lot of balding issues, whether they want to admit it or not. I need you guys to remember that even though I don't do hair anymore, I still have 2 children. So me and my husband still have to make money. He has his job, but of course I work. So I'm still in the industry. And you want to know who comes to see me? The women who don't want to do it publicly. The people who are telling you guys to do the things that have stopped working and they go bald, or the women who've listened to the YouTubers who didn't want to listen to me 10 years ago when I first started telling y'all not to do it. Those are my clients. Those are my customers now. So I'm not speaking from a state of like, oh, I'm angry or I'm mad, because I probably shouldn't say this, but if we want to be also real about it, you guys following nasty habits, you guys following YouTubers actually makes me a whole lot of money. It does. I'm just being honest. So it actually it doesn't work in my favor to tell y'all to stop doing these things. You know why? Because the more you do it, the more money I make. The more you follow their habits, the more your hair comes out, and the more you're going to have to come see me and my partners. That's just what it is. So me telling you what I'm telling you isn't for my benefit. It's to help you. Spend your money on something else. Girl, come over to the apothecary and buy some herbs. Stop. I don't want you to have to go to the dermatologist. I don't want you to need to do all of these things. Going to the dermatologist is great, right? Going to the doctors is great to get your blood work done and to see what levels of things you're deficient in. So then you can take the right supplements. You can get the right teas and extracts. But even for the apothecary, I don't recommend for you to just go on the apothecary and get any extract that you see. No. What are your levels? What are you deficient in? And then, based on your deficiencies, go on the apothecary and look in the description of every product that I have, and I tell you exactly what it does for your body. These are the things that I want you to think about. You have so many options. You can go see a cosmetologist. You can go see a trichologist. You could go see a dermatologist. You can take my 7-day challenge or the growth cycle blueprint. There's so many things you can do. But why is it that we're stuck on the thing that we want to do is adding oils and butters and greases to the scalp when you guys have been doing it for decades? And it's not working. So why continue to do it? Again, the definition of insanity is to do the same thing over and over and over again, expecting a different result. So if you've stuck around to the end of this video, I love you. Thank you. And make sure you check the link in the description box below. Join my free group and make sure you're over on the Send Out Network, because the end of this month we have our newest video coming over to the Send Out Network, and I'm going to put all of these PDFs within the free group. Not all of them. Some of them are only going to be in the blueprint, but a lot of these are going to be in our free group. So make sure you're over there. You can talk to me. You guys can build community with each other. And my favorite thing is when you guys go within that group and you make your video request, because this video here is based on a video request. And in my very next video, I'm really nervous to do it because I don't want anybody to think that I'm attacking them. But it's a question you guys keep asking, and it is about, the foam wrap that you use for short hair, or the foam wrap that, some braiders are using on braids now, and the fibers that you use to make bald spots like disappear. Is that making balding worse? The answer is yes. And in my next video, I'm going to break it down, but you guys don't get mad at me. And remember, head over to the free group and make sure you're talking to me in there. Make sure you're engaging, so that way I know what you need help with the most here on my channel. Because remember, I'm here for you, baby. You know what I'm saying? So we don't have to go through all of this stupid stuff. We can really sit down, look at the science, and combine that with common sense. All right? Again, I love you. Bye.